Hello, I hope that you are having a good day or night, and today I'm actually going to be sharing another yearly bullet journaling setup with you. And this one is actually going to be for my self-care bullet journal. And I'm actually using an old bullet journal for this. Well, okay, not an old bullet journal, but rather the bullet journal that I was using for the second half of 2021. And that's just because I kind of changed my bullet journaling style, and I'm using way fewer spreads than I used to, so I didn't need as many pages as I thought I would, and I had so many pages left in my journal and I really didn't want to waste them, so I thought that I could just keep using this journal for, well, this setup and as long as it lasts. Probably not for the whole 2022, but I'll figure it out. Who knows what form my bullet journaling is going to take later, because I do kind of keep experimenting with it. Anyways, this is going to be a very vintage themed setup, and I'm actually going to be using my Antiquarian Bibliophilia sticker book, which is a new sticker book that I got very recently. I'm actually going to be linking the video for this particular sticker book where I do a review and flip through of it down below in the description in case you want to check that out, because I'm actually really enjoying using this. Or rather, I really enjoyed using this for this particular setup since this was pretty much my first time actually giving it a go. Anyways, to go with my vintage theme, I'm going to be using some craft paper and a bunch of those vintage washi tapes that you see on the right. And I'm just starting off by layering a bunch of book pages and washi tape pieces all over the place to create a sort of vintagey layered collage. And then I'm layering the craft paper pieces over that. And that is actually where my 2022 is going to go, right on top of those craft paper pieces. And I actually really like how this came out. It definitely feels very vintage, and that's kind of what I was in the mood for. After that, I'm just grabbing a couple of vintage stickers from my sticker book and placing those on the two corners of that 2022, just to make the spread a little bit more interesting. The next spread is my morning routine spread, so here I'm just going to be writing down my morning routine for the rest of the year, or what I'm kind of hoping my morning routine is going to be. Of course, I might change it, but this is just what I'm planning for. And here I'm layering some white grid washi tape with some more of that vintage washi tape on both sides of the title, just to fill in that empty space. And I'm also adding two more vintage stickers, again around those corners. And just to make the spread a little bit more interesting, I'm also adding a little bit of gold washi tape under the title. For the next spread, I'm going back to my torn book pages. And I'm layering them with some more washi tape because I really like that look and it definitely gives a sort of scrapbook vintage feel. And I'm using some craft paper for the titles. And this spread is my goals and my dreams spread. So here I'm just going to be writing down my goals for the year and my dreams for the year. And my final touch for the spread was just 2 more vintage stickers to make the spread a little bit more interesting and to give it that vintage feel. My next spread is my check-in spread for my goals and my dreams. So rather than writing down my goals for 2022, here I'm just going to kind of check in on how I did for my goals and my dreams for 2021. And since there was actually a little bit of empty space right on top of the goals and dreams area, I decided to fill that in with some gold washi tape. And the space in between the goals and dreams heading I decided to fill in with some brown washi tape for that vintage feel. With my final touch for the spread being 2 more vintage snail stickers. The next spread, I'm starting off with a whole bunch of layering again, and I'm just kind of placing all of the papers around randomly. Other than that piece of creamy book page that doesn't actually have any writing on it, which I will be using for the title. That is why it is right at the top. And after I finished placing all of that down, I'm just using the last 2 pieces of my wide grid washi tape, which I actually ran out of during this setup. And just a few more vintage stickers. The next spread is my How I Am Now spread. And this is kind of another check-in spread where I write down how I'm doing. And I thought that this would be a good spread to add for my self-care bullet journal, but I'll see how it goes and I'll let you know for my next setup if I'm going to be using it again. This is also one of the simplest spreads in this setup, and I'm not sure I'm super pleased with how this came out because it is a little bit too simple for me. And I pretty much just decorated it with a bunch of washi tape, and after I did that, I didn't really know what else to add, so I just left it as is. As I said, I think it's a little bit too simple, but that's okay. There can be a few very simple spreads in this setup, just to kind of mix things up a little bit. My next spread is actually building on my previous spread, and this is my How I'm Hoping to Be spread. So the previous spread is how I am, and this spread is how I'm hoping to be. So kind of like my goals and dreams, but in a more kind of broad sense, if that makes sense. Anyways, I'm decorating this spread with some brown vintagey looking washi tape on both sides. And layering a few more pieces of that vintagey grey washi tape and brown washi tape just around to make the spread a little bit more interesting. As well as adding another vintage sticker. The next spread is my good things about me and things I want to change spread. So here on the left I'm going to be writing some of the good things about me because I do tend to kind of spiral into negative thinking, so I definitely need a positive spread every once in a while. And on the right I'm going to be writing down some of the things about myself that I want to change, because, you know, that's also pretty important. And I actually decided to underline these titles with different colors of washi tape because I did write the colors in different colors of marker, and I thought that it made things a little bit more fun. And then, because the spread was looking a little bit boring, I added some more gold washi tape and just a very thin, light beige washi tape to the bottom to decorate it a little bit more. And this was another very simple spread, but I'm okay with it. My last spread, I'm starting off with some more gold washi tape, just because I felt like I wasn't adding as much sparkle as I kind of was planning to for this setup, so I decided to go all in here and add a lot. And I'm just layering that with a thinner washi tape with a black and white sort of vintagey looking design. The rest of the spread I'm decorating very simply by just adding 2 vintage stickers to the bottom corners of my spread, just to make it a little bit more interesting. And that was it. That was the whole setup. It actually came out simpler than I kind of was expecting it to look, but I'm still really happy with it. I actually did a vintage setup for my reading journal last year, and I was really happy with how it turned out, so I knew I wanted to do another vintage setup for 2022, and I chose this particular journal. Let me know if you're going to be setting up any journals for 2022, and if you've thought of any themes that you might want to try out. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of the year and an amazing 2022, and I'll see you in my next video. Be you, always. Bye!